August. Get involved. The goal? Make your community stronger by getting trained and getting involved. It takes more than police, fire, and EMS to respond to a disaster. It takes people who are committed to neighborhoods, churches, schools, and volunteer organizations. When people work together for the good of others, communities are always stronger. People who are involved are the key to a disaster-resilient community. They're willing and able to look out for themselves and others. A resilient community is one that can withstand a disaster and get back to normal quickly, even if normal isn't the same as it was before. Choose one of the following things to do this month to become better prepared. Connect with an isolated individual in your neighborhood or start a neighborhood organization. Isolated individuals are more vulnerable during and after a disaster. They are less likely to ask for help or follow emergency instructions. The elderly or those with disabilities might have trouble getting out of the house and may not have much contact with the outside world. Someone who doesn't speak English very well might have trouble understanding emergency instructions. People might also be isolated just because they're new to the area or their work hours keep them from meeting their neighbors. Who are the isolated individuals in your neighborhood? Take time to seek them out and to meet them. Help them make a plan for emergencies and include checking on them in your plans. Neighborhood watches and other groups can be a great way for you to become better connected with your neighbors. If your neighborhood doesn't have a group, consider starting one. There are resources available online at usaonwatch.org or by calling your local police or sheriff's department. Promote emergency preparedness in your community. Scout troops, service clubs, residential associations, communities of faith, almost any organization you belong to can become a partner in emergency preparedness. Organizations that promote emergency preparedness make their community more able to withstand and recover from disaster. Here are some suggestions for involving your organization. Include a Do One Thing preparedness topic in newsletters or on a bulletin board every month. Talk to your Scout troop leader about how Do One Thing activities can be used towards a preparedness badge. Get a group together to make emergency kits for seniors and kids who stay home alone. Visit the DoOneThing.com website to see how other organizations are promoting preparedness in their communities. The Red Cross, Ready.gov, and many other organizations also promote preparedness. Find the materials that will work best for your organization and then become a partner in preparing your community. Become a volunteer in your community. CERT, Red Cross, Neighborhood Watch, etc. There are many places to volunteer in your community. Many police and fire departments use volunteers to help with special projects, events, and programs. The American Red Cross, Salvation Army, and others train volunteers to work in disasters. But you need to be trained before the disaster. If you're interested in helping your community or other communities during a disaster, become a volunteer for your local Red Cross or Salvation Army chapter. But don't wait for disaster to strike. Volunteer now. Those organizations won't send untrained volunteers into disaster areas. Many communities also have a volunteer career or retired and senior volunteer program, RSVP programs. These programs can find ways for you to help in your community that will fit into your schedule and your abilities. If you're already a member of a volunteer organization, good for you. Consider getting your volunteer group involved in a VODE, Voluntary Organizations Active in Disaster. VODE is a national program that helps volunteer groups work with their community during a disaster.